story did not end like that. That story doesn't have a good ending. Ariel's story, um, the original one, it was entrapment. Uh, but like that's another video. So this one is an African deck, and this one you don't see any horns. This one you see a man with a red cloth with a spider face. Then you see these two, a man and a female, and they have ropes around them. But I don't know if you can see it, but they're not tight around them. They're able to get out of that. And then we have the web, which is a symbol of the great work. Also, the universe looks like a big spider web as well. And the red cloth represent the root chakra, the lower, which is in the earth environment as well, where we have our passion, where we have our anger, where we creativity as well. We also, it represent also the blood. So here we have a man that have like a spider face. In Ghana, they have a deity that's called Anansi. He's also a protector, and but he also have a side of a trickster. And Hermes, all these different things of enchantment, they do have a trickery to it. But remember, this is inside the tree of life. So this is within us, and I will explain in a minute. And this one, it is a Celtic one of shape changer devil card, but this one doesn't say the devil. It says the choice, because they don't feel of evil or something like that, or certain things. But they do have horn. This one has a horn. He's a minotaur, and she's a satyr because she has the legs. They have the legs of like a goat, or it's their hoofs. So they also represent the material world. Okay, and they are in the galaxy, so you can see the stars right there. Even the other one right here had stars as well. So here they're in the galaxy, in the universe, and these are tiles, like pathways. They are not tied, their hands are not tied or anything like that, but each of their feet is like with a band of light as well, because every devil card that you see will have a male or a female, both in the same card. And it's not meaning, oh, it's two different people. It also be the female and the masculine energy being balanced. And also, it is also the card of the lovers. The 6 is also the cards of the lovers, which the lovers is Gemini as well, duality, the female and the masculine energy, because in the tree of life, one comes down, but that one has two energies, the female and the masculine energy. So here they're just bounded together, and they have to take these different tiles for different pathways. And they have a light, the inner light, to go through to see as they go into their pathway. This one not. This is the High Priestess. We're going to talk about this one. Is this one. Okay. So this one, it is the traditional one, and it says devil there as well. And here we have the female and the male again. They also, right here, they have a chain, but it looks like it's loose. They're able to take it off anytime they want. So here we have the attachment to pleasure, which is great, wine and stuff like that. And Taurus, they do like, to celebrate and stuff like that, and luxury and pleasure. And here we have the tail of fire, which is the attraction to the ego, to destruction as well, because they say that God could also create and it also could take away life. So it could create and destroy. Even Mother Nature, she can create and she could also destroy it. So that's saying having that duality inside and having a balance. Okay, so I wanted to bring this card right over here for a minute. Choice, and then the devil, but in backwards it says lived through choices, because the devil card, it is a card of choice. It is a card of in a way an entrapment, addiction, stagnation, but it's because of the choices that we make. Sometimes it have people that forces things, like in trafficking or doing things and forcing the will upon, taking away the will, taking the choice away from someone. That is totally wrong. That is something that you should never do, take the choice. But we ourselves sometimes surrender our free will. We give the right of our choices. We make agreements that entrap us, agreements that we're not even aware what we're really agreeing to. And we get stuck in that. We get stagnated. We get into addiction. We take to fill in a void, to fill in a pain, to fill in a feeling of unworthiness, things like that. Then we take substance that we hurt ourselves physically, okay, because we're hurt spiritually and mentally, and by the choices that we find ourselves hurting ourselves even more in this stagnation period. So we have times that I hear people say, God or Jesus, take the wheel, but God and Jesus, they do believe in free will. They tell you have free will. So if you're not steering your vehicle, your spiritual vehicle, or your physical vehicle, who is driving it? Because he's not going to take the wheel. The devil doesn't take the wheel, because it's all about choice. It's about free will. The devil and the angel, like in the shoulder, that's just like within us. That is a choices within our inner voice, with our lower self, our middle self, and then our higher self. It's like we have three people, and those three people, they some of them have, the middle and the lower has vices and virtue. The higher self don't, because the higher self has a knowing. So between the middle person and the lower self, they have virtues and vices, and between those two, they make a ladder to the higher self. So within our choices that we do, we give up the power, and then what happens when we get to the power, the wheel is just, what is the wheel doing? It's just going, just like the word queen. A lot of women, sisters, they don't like to use the word Queen. They like to do Kween, because queen is a meaning of heifer, a cow, which a cow is abundance, fertility, health is for health, but it has a circle right here. It has a circle above here with a dot on it, and that is the letter Q. And then the letter U is right here for nurture, and nurture, that's for the symbol of woman, and nurture comes from nature, from nurturing. So woman is to nurture. So in the dictionary, you will see words of Q, and almost all of them, only except 42 words that doesn't Q don't follow with the U, but the rest of them, it carries the U, because it's the manifesting wheel that the female has, is the wheel. So we have the wheel of manifestation, and then through us being the vehicle and the vessel and the portal, the male also have that too, because his blueprint is from us. His body is a blueprint from us. So he able to have that ability that come from the wheel of nurturing. But because sometimes of the ego or something like that, we don't want to be called a cow or a heifer, perception. But the word queen has a powerful meaning as well. So here we have the wings for illusion, for the bat wings, and then it has a deception, a thing like this that just look just like this with breasts with a woman, okay, it has one like that as well, because Lucifer, it fell from grace. Then now now we have to find ourselves to go back, because they said that we were born in sin or whatnot. So here we have a star, but before we look at the star real quick, I wanted to give you the reflection of the Hebrew letter, which I have it right here. This is the modern kind. This is the one before that, and then before, and then this is the most ancient one, which looks like an eye. Also, the eye, the two crescent moon together, makes the symbol of a fish. Jesus was a Pisces, is mean duality of ages. Just like in Moses had a time with the cow, that is the age of the Taurus. That was a time of abundance, fruitfulness. It just of really a lot of good abundance. So the Pisces is duality of time of different the different of the spirituality and religions and stuff like that the change between the dualities. And also when you turn it like this, okay, it looks like a Pisces, but it also looks like the opening of vagina, of the vulva, which the vulva as well is a symbol of protection. So this is the G and H letter for the Hebrew, but the meaning of it is eyes, vision, cause and effect, how to think of the future, to see beyond the physical breakthrough, the walls of limitation. This is where the devil area is. It is to break through, to use not the physical, but to use the spiritual eyes to break through the limitations, to be led by the spiritual sight, to the view, to go through and walk through the spiritual and then lead your physical, but go ahead first with your spiritual. So before this, it had an older ancient of the G and the H, but it was a rope and then a circle, and then it ended up, because it looks just like this, but it had a meaning that they took out of the Hebrew content, and it meant twist, dark, and wicked. Through history, it has been twisted into wickedness. The image that we see has been twisted by the perception from what we see, just like the messenger. We could follow a messenger, but that messenger is man. He's also needs to do his elevation, or her needs to do her elevation. They also need to do their work, their way of finding. So to follow something without even researching and going to the original, because this time is not even different. This is more time. It has a hammer that they found that is 50 million years, that the wood of the handle has turned into diamonds, how old it is. It's much, much older what they're trying to let us know. Just like in the Vatican, they have a whole room of miles long with artifacts and stuff like that, and not sharing with the people, but they're keeping it to themselves. So while they give us a perception to follow, they give us a message because they're the messenger, right? So we got to take the message and follow them. But then in closed doors, they go into a room and honor the Black Madonna, the Black mother with child. So let's look at the star, the pentagram, okay? And I have it here too. Yeah, this is the pentagram, and this is the Star of David. They lead for the head, arms, and the legs, right? They both are. But this one I explain in the woman, and I use the Star of David because it has a lot to do with her. So here's another symbol, but I wanted to bring this symbol because of perception. This symbol, a lot of us, if we don't know this symbol, we have a fear and we have sadness when we see this symbol, because it was a symbol that have history of genocide, of mass of people. But the Nazis here, they used to try to find ancient knowledge, and they took pieces of things and put it onto them and put their intentions as well into it. And they took this and they turn it around. But this really is a sun symbol. It is a symbol of prosperity, a symbol of success, a symbol of wellness. And they took this and they just twisted it around into wickedness. And now the ones, this is going as clockwise as well, the female energy as well. But in the opposite, it is a Kali symbol for the night, or trantic aspect of the Kali, the goddess Kali. So here, when you saw that upside down here in the devil card, this is meaning that it is leading by the material world, and it's not, and the spiritual is upside down. So when it's like this, you're leading with your head, you're leading with your crown chakra, you're leading with your spirit, you're leading with your higher self. But when you're leading with your legs, with with your material, you miss the inside of your higher self. You miss the inner knowing, your inner, those that wisdom within our spirit, into our soul. So it also has that high priestess that we saw. She's right here. This is the Empress, which also goes with the door as well, right? And this is the higher knowing of self, the mastery, okay? This right here, it is the high priestess, and in the Hebrew is the camel. And the camel is the animal that you use mostly. You want to use that animal to go to the desert because it lasts longer because of its hump. It stores extra water there. So it will outlast a horse or a donkey. And women carries more water in her body than men. She carries it in her breast. So if a woman and a man goes into the desert, she will last longer because of the extra water that she has in her breast. So the camel is movement, able to get that movement up. So here we have the Empress that, again, she's in the tree of life. This is the middle, and these are the pillars right here. And she stands right in the middle, right underneath the source. And she has this right here, the symbol of balance, also a scale. She has balance both sides with the knowledge. And then underneath her veil, which means concealment, secret, mystical, she has the divine law under her veil, the Torah. And here again, you see the same symbol of the triple goddess as well, and the crescent moon and the phases of the moon, because it's connected to water, which this is water intuition, which also represent Yemaya, a goddess of the sea, which is also Mut, which the head god in Egypt is Atum, but if you put that upside backwards, if you read it the other side, is Muta, Mut, which is the water. And if you see her, she's like the rainbow. This symbol right here, which is the D, which is to the side, it looks like a stomach, a pregnant stomach. So here we have her sitting here, intuition with higher learning, inner knowing, and in between the balance between these pillars. Okay, and she has a balance because right here she's balanced. And then deep intuition, water just flowing on her. So this in here, it is a journey of one, but with two energies balancing through these different pathways, breaking through these veils, letting go of ego, letting go things. Here also a scale in Ma'at to balance the heart. The heart is an organ course it will balance heavier than a feather. But they're talking about your spirit life, your soul journey. When you remember, for me, I feel like we look into a mirror of truth. And when we are faced with our truth, we ourselves heavy ourselves that we're not able to go forward because we know what we have done. We know that we did not act accordingly, that we did not went through our journey leading by the Spirit, but we led by our material aspects, our just filling with desires. Because even along this pathway, we can be addicted to person, we could be addicted to success, to money, to status, to whatever you addicted to. Those are only things that we come across in our journey, but it's not our life purpose. It's not our destiny. That is within us. And for that, we have to be able to have self-knowledge, because we can get trapped at the devil area within ourselves and surrender our choices, get in stagnant, give up our rights, and then here we go. But we got to keep journeying. Just like I made a video of landscapes of our life, of our journey, that each of the things that we go through could be a landscape. Also, with the symbol of 6, we make it into such a bad number, which the trio of 666 that people see as evil, and when we see it, we think of evil. But 6 is the 3 sixes represent the 6 protons, 6 neutrons, the 6 electrons makes up the carbon 12, which is in the melanin. Okay, that's life, and into 99% of our atoms are made of that, and it's cause that shows that we are stardust. The melanin, the black matter in the universe, we are stardust. So the number 6, because they have so much a bad influence by it, it connects above and below. Also, this symbol right here is an X. The 6 corresponds to different letters. The F, which is will right here, air, and then we have O right here, and then we have N, the action, that's air, and then we have the X, which is the spirit letter for eternity. On top of that, the X, which is a chromosome of a female, you put a line on top and a line in the bottom that is above and below, a connection, the Virgo, the messenger. So those are the correspondence of the 6, but the attribute, it is to connect above and below, reconciliation, intellectual, creativity, discrimination, imagination, union, love, perfection, ability to use the imagination and intellect, combine readiness, taking responsibility of choices. It relates to planet Venus, Uranus, and the tarot cards, the lover, which is the Gemini of duality. So these are other positive traits again, but I'm not going to go to all of them because I do already make this video breaking down the woman, which becomes the number 60, which is 6. And it even tells you even deeper the meaning of her. But in all these positive traits, domestic, responsible care, teacher, provider, protector, healer, that makes up the woman. And it's much more a list down here, but the bottom one I wanted to go real quick. It is attachment to money and success. Of course, a lot of us want to be okay. We want to be able to just go through life and just enjoy it and not take life seriously and stuff like that. But then we have lessons. We have things that we need to clear up. We need to clear up karma. We need to clear up ancestral connection of things. I know I sure have to clear some from my ancestral, because a lot of the women of my lineage has been through a lot of sorrow, hurt, pain, things that some of them even gone too early from their journey. And I have to clear those for me and for my daughters, so we can break those chains of feeling shame, feeling guilty, feeling all these things that bind us. A lot of people don't like to to hear about, we have that animal side. We all do have that vices and virtues to deal with, but a lot of people don't like to hear our animal side. Okay, this world could exist much better without us. After that, when going through that COVID-19, when everybody had to be inside, the world was getting healed. Fishes were not came back for places that they should be, but they weren't because of the pollution in the air, the pollution in the ocean. We use the ocean like a where we put our pollution and where we put our trash is like a big old trash can, putting tires. Fishes are coming out with plastic and all kinds of stuff from their stomach. We rape the earth for the resources that is limited, that after you take those resources is gone. Trafficking of women, the energy of women, how we perceive them to be sexual and not understand their sacredness. We hunt trophies, we hunt animals and human beings. We take away the forests and we take these things that hurt the earth. We abuse it. The thing that sustain us, that give us everything to live and to prosper, we take and we take and we take, and we do not honor. I have walked and I have seen people just throw trash. The trash can is 6 feet away and they just throw it with no understanding or no awareness of the earth. It have things that we do that animals don't do. Of all species of female species of animals, let's take the dog. The dog she will fight. A female dog will fight to the death if they try to climb on her while she's carrying child when life. Water is scientifically proven that when you speak into water with hot emotions, with negativity, with anger, with those kind of feelings, the water gets bitter. When you do it smoother, when you talk about love, even plants, it does the same effect to plants. It will wither if you do it with hot emotions, with anger. And the same thing, the child is inside of a womb with water. And when you insert that hot energy, that energy of materialistic energy of earth into a place of coolness, that they're still connecting to the cosmos, to their stardust. So they're in containment into the cooler colors of the chakra. The woman's stomach gets so hard and clenches. It's not the woman, it is the womb itself. The womb itself is pressing down and it becomes a hardness to it, that I always felt that something was wrong until I did my research and looked at the difference when I practiced my full containment. The child becomes even a greater indigo child. They don't come with jaundice and infections. The doctor tells us, oh yeah, it's good to go and have sex while you're pregnant because it opens you up and it stretches you. The body does what the body does. It was created for that. But then we do things that inside our knowing, our body is telling us something is wrong. This is not natural. This is not the natural order of life. You don't see gorillas with machetes and guns and stuff. You don't see elephant trying to take the teeth from the human beings. This planet, the only virus in this planet is the mass of people that goes with their ego, with their materialistic ways, and not being led by the higher knowing and having that connection. We only use 10% of our brains. Imagine if we use 100, that we are able to connect and communicate with each other, not by words, because words and letters, all these things, those are simple because we're primitive enough. We have to learn how to communicate with each other. But before, we used to communicate with energy, with understanding, with even dolphins use more percentage of their brain than we do. They use 20. They're able to communicate from a distance, and able to the whales, they do the same thing. But a lot of us are led through our materialistic side. The monks, a lot of people, they even seclude themselves, so they're able to meditate in such a thing that they don't have the struggle and the challenge to have that challenge of the materialistic ways pushing on them. But a lot of us, we don't have that. We have to practice our understanding. We have to practice our inner knowing, so we are able to balance those vices and virtues. So to understand that, and to be able to have the freedom of knowledge, to be able to research and find ourselves, because I would say that we were born displaced. We were born into different systems that is not that opens up and supports our inner knowing. It suppresses it, because we are told to follow a messenger of man, and then to ignore the inner message that we're receiving from the higher, from the guides, from the, if we are stardust, it has more energy that we do not understand and that we're not connected to, because we are living in the eyes of the physical and not in the eyes of the knowing. Is a different of seeing something, seeing an illusion, and a difference from knowing to feeling it. I have felt a lot of things while I'm being guided, and I'm like, this don't feel right. Just like with different systems, like I don't believe in no sacrifice. I don't believe that no sacrifices of animals, no sacrifices of any of those things, because we women, with the connection of the cycle of the moon, we give the gift of blood for life in our journey. So it's no need to sacrifice anything. But because we have so many different stories in the Bible could be taken apart in different ways, people have ways to twist things. So I hope that this video kind of give some reflection, some inspiration for your own research. And until next time, I wish you much healing, much blessing, much love. Until next time, great journey.